Hello, storytellers, storytelling. Right now, I want to talk about how bad Star Wars is. Star Wars is pretty bad now. It's getting, the whole thing about what they're pushing now is, I love Star Wars. I just got done watching Boba Fett again, the Book of Boba Fett. And a lot of people are dogging the Book of Boba Fett. I love the Book of Boba Fett. I mean, it's corny, it's goofy. I get it, and there's so many sequences that are like, not really good in the sense of logical. What happens next kind of stuff. But I really like it because it's a space Western and it feels like a role-playing game. The characters and the sets and the plots and everything that's kind of going on in it. I just really enjoyed it. I know, but the criticisms of it were funny and I had to they got a point there. But there's just nothing else out there, really that's that fun. The whole Firefly Serenity, that sci-fi thing was kind of cool too. I like that. A space Western is really like my favorite, and Star Wars really does a good job of sort of mixing all that together and making a fun adventure. And that's really what I think you and I are looking for, right? We're looking for, it's sort of space opera, but space Western. It's space opera, high, Jedi stuff, but then space Western, the Han Solo smuggler, Outer Rim stuff. And I really like that whole mix of stuff. And I was watching Rogue One recently, and it's like you and I, we need that, right? We need that adventure, and I was hoping Rebel Moon would be cool, but it turned, and that was depressingly sad. And, didn't really work well for me. I'll have to watch it again, but it just, first impression was like, it's not that enjoyable. But anyway, I'm going to go through this about Gino Carano. That is awesome. The story of Gino Carano. I'm going to bring that up in here and why, you and I need to get off of Star Wars and in the sense of like just not supporting it unless they turn around or whatever, or not go the path that they're on right now. So let's go through some stuff here about just going over why I think we need to get off of it. And of course I'm pushing Christians in space. I really, really love it. And so do my players. I guess we're biased. I don't know. I've created it. It's, but I'm going to go through that as well. Okay. So it's for Christians. We have our own sci-fi now genre that we can do the same fun stuff as all the tropes, the sci-fi tropes, and I'm throwing them all in there, and it works biblically. Okay. And you get to be a Christian and you get to evangelize and you get to have fellowship with your friends, Christians, and you can then turn your game in your group into a ministry, into an evangelistic ministry. Take your group to conventions, take this game to conventions. That's, push it out there. I'm going to start working on the open license kind of thing, or the type of license where you can do this and have the freedom. I'm going to put that on my website here pretty soon. So I'll get that going because I want you to just have the freedom to do it and make your own products if you want, or make your own shows or whatever you want to do. Because to me, this is a ministry. It's just about, I don't feel like I own that much of it. A couple little things there just to, I just want to make sure that we're using it for the right stuff and not, you're using it for the right stuff and not taking it for other stuff, but not like the big deal. All right. So let me go through, it's not a big deal. So like, let's say you were a pagan and you took my game and stole it. Like, good luck with that, because you got about 10,000 other pagan games to go compete with, so whatever. If you're going to steal and not have that real creative passion, I'm not worried about it. Anyway, I'm not concerned about that. All right. So I want to do a Nerdrotics video. I want to kind of go through a little bit of it about the Gino Carano thing, just to show you guys. I love this guy. I hope Jesus Christ comes into his life. That, he's been a good fighter for the against the woke culture and doing some great videos. I just want to go through a little bit of what he brings up. He did a good job of putting it all together. But like, for instance, this, Pedro Pascal can obviously do horrendous stuff like this, and of course this is the Democrat Party, and then the fascists are Democrats. They're the National Socialists. They're not nationalists like the right wing. They're nationalists in the sense of they want to federalize everything. They want to federalize everything, control everything, and conquer out other countries. Right-wingers, Christians, we don't go out and conquer other countries. We might go out and colonize them and plant churches, but we don't actually go out and conquer a land. We will come into it and say, hey, we got a better offer for you. But the Confederacy is the Democrat Party. So Pedro Pascal and them, they do that whole switch thing because that's what evil does. And I'm not saying Pedro's evil. I'm saying he's following evil, or he's believing in evil. He's fallen for it. Because many people can certainly fall for evil thinking they're doing good. But, he's calling us whatever. So this is very, firebrand or offensive. And he can do that on Twitter or whatever. But Gina Carano can't, right? And she gets fired because of it, because of the Disney, the LGBTQ thing. So, and then of course, after they fired her, they say that what she's been posting is unacceptable. So this is cool. She definitely has ammo to say that she was treated, unfairly, and ruined in the public and all that stuff. So anyway, I don't know why I'm going through this, but except to say that this is Disney. And then she has a really cool post here about it. You guys should check out on Twitter or X. And then, but it's Disney, right? It's Disney attacking and destroying. I'm going to pause this. I got to get this image up and show you this image real quick. So this is what Disney is canceling. This is what they got rid of. They hate it. They hate her. They hate, us. I love this. Now, in my videos, I say that women cannot be like men fighting wise and combat. And obviously Gina's character is more like a, tough combat. So whatever, I don't, I get it. I'm going to keep reminding people, but I still want girls to have some sort of joy in being a hero and all that. So I don't really have a big problem with this. But I do want to teach them in my games, in the Christian role-playing games, that women don't run around wielding a battle axe, right? They don't run around being very combative. They got to figure out other ways. I do believe that the gun is an equalizer, though. It is an equalizer, and it gives women an equal opportunity to defend themselves much better than a battle axe. So they certainly can have combative things. But anyway, I love this image, and this is what Star Wars hates. Star Wars hates her and doesn't want her to look up to Gina as a role model. And they don't want that. They want here. Let me go to this here. They want the girls to worship this force as female, the lesbian gay agenda, the pronoun agenda. So here is some. This is coming out or is out, and the character encyclopedia, and it's got all of them with the pronouns he, him, and of course here it has these they, them. So both are, so that means individually they, them, are they, them. So they're like, not sexual or whatever, not male or female, of course. So they're pushing the pronouns, the LGBT still. They'll give you a different kind of challenge. Okay. So they're wanting to push this. And of course it's Christian stuff here. They're wanting to push this, and they're doing it on this woman here is, and she was posting in 2020 these posts, but they're all like they're very racist. They're very like her black power supremacy, and she's always dogging the whites. And I want to go to one quote that I really this one here. She says, "White supremacy is like the devil. It doesn't need an advocate." So white supremacy is like the devil. So in this book, where the British were freeing the slaves, the black Africans from their black African masters, their Arab masters, the Spanish and some French, they discovered that the blacks there were more afraid of the British trying to liberate them, the white colonial Christian British, than they were of their voodoo black masters and slavers and the Spanish slavers. They were more afraid of the British trying to free them because the British were called white devils. So here she is calling white supremacy is like the devil. They're going to use that, and I think we should use that too. I'm a white devil, because they, just like the Democrat Party uses white supremacy, racist, all that. They did that to make the slaves so more afraid of the white Christian man, the British, so that they would not want to be freed from their slavery. They thought they would be safer as slaves, being just brutalized, raped, tortured, killed, I mean, I think 1 in 4 made it from the slave ships to America, and only 1 in 10 made it from the slavery of the Arabic trade to the Middle East. And then of course they all died in the Middle East. There's no black culture that has survived in the Middle East at all. They've all been wiped out. They all were brutally castrated. So 1 in 10 maybe survived just to die as a slave in a horrific way, forgotten in the annals of history. So they were more afraid of the white devil, which is what the Democrats, and I'm not saying the Democrats because I got to call out who's the evil today. But back then the slavers would say, those are the white devils. You don't want to go there. They're the white devils. So that's what they do. That's what evil does, right? It creates hate. It has hate laws. It creates hate things. You have to hate them. You have to hate them because they are the white devils. So if you hate them, remain my slave, remain under me, remain under my plantation and under my control as a Democrat Party. That's exactly what's happening. And she is on that plantation looking out there at the freedom fighters and calling them white devils. And that's what she's doing here. It's just pathetic, and I'm going to call it out that way. And so the Force is females, them pushing this in Star Wars, and this is what you're getting. The fan thing I was looking for. She's got a lot of fans, and this is her. Oh, that's the post again. So my point now, I guess I'm done with that, is we have a Star Wars thing. So let me pull this up. We Christians can do a Star Wars thing now, and I'm telling you, this is just so much fun. I mean, look on my channel. I got the 2 playlists. I got the first playlist of the Christian space in space, and the second one. And look, I don't, maybe I should start editing. I don't edit the shows down. I might look into that because there's a lot of humdrum going on as well in the game, as far as like what we're doing when we're just talking or doing technical things, or someone's, whatever, loses their sound or whatever. Ooh, or there's a part where we're like talking over a rule or something that's kind of slow. I get it. And there's a lot of slow parts in it. And of course I just babble on and my coffee and yap. But I'm going to show you the game and how all of this. And I don't just walk the walk, right? I talk the talk as far as like GMing and showing the game and how it plays and kind of live play testing as well, refining and polishing it as we go. But this is the game, man. This is like, and not only do I GM it, I create the miniatures and the maps and the setting and the music, because I'm a real GM, man. I'm a hardcore prepping like crazy. Now, if you as a GM don't create the maps that's fine. The point is you find materials, you create materials, or you gather materials together to create this full-on environment. Like I do not like theater of the mind. I don't appreciate it. I feel like it's just you sitting around charlataning your story, because you kind of, once I lay something down on the table, I have to commit to that. If you're doing theater of the mind, you can kind of like just, it's like that what's that, the dreamy movie where they did the Inception, or that one where the dream one where they could just, you just start making up stuff, and actually it gets boring to just make up stuff. You have to like commit to something, a setting or a story. And so for me, putting things down or setting up scenes is committing to a story, and I'm committed to it, and so are the players, and I can't like reimagine it in a theater of the mind. I'm going off on theater of the mind for some reason. And so that's my criticism of it. I'm not 100% against it, but I personally don't appreciate it. And like all the gameplays that are on YouTube that I can only watch a few of those, if that. So few of them now have miniatures or a presentation like this. And that to me is a bummer. So I can't, I guess that's an audio podcast then. But this is important. Like, Dungeons and Dragons came from the tabletop war games, and this is the tradition. And if we're moving away from that, you might as well just go into theater. If you're just, or I don't know, theater, or improv theater or something. I don't know. But this is basically using miniatures, and this game, all these assets are available for the game. I make sure to create everything for every setting. And I don't just draw drawings like to set up like in my game books. I don't have drawings in there just because it's a cool picture, a cool piece of art. I want it to be usable. So everything in there is this. It's the tokens, the map pieces. It's a usable thing, and this is all reusable type stuff. So look, this is them fighting off a dreadbot. I kind of set up a scene more because I used some sort of in the game. I actually did stuff like this, like that part is destroyed, So I did have that in there. So I kind of cleaned it up and showed kind of what happened without it. But this is the scene that they fought a dreadbot attack on them. Oh, they blew this one up over here. They shot that one. This basically the dreadbot ship shoots the robots as torpedoes into the ship, and then it slams into it, and the robot unfolds and starts attacking the people. See, so we have a cool sci-fi Christian thing, and the people live in fear of these dreadbots because they're planet killers, or they go around terrorizing people because they're dreadbots. They're Terminators, basically. So we have that in this game, and this is the church plant. This is where they planted the church, and this is kind of where like their mission right now, their base of operations. And they come back here and they just rescued these slaves. They're ex-slaves, from this. Oh, let me go to this real quick. They had a battle with where did I put it? Here. They had a battle here, a spaceship. Oh no! This is one where they were chasing down a shuttle and were fighting that one. Where's the other one? This one here it is. Where's? Oh no! Where is it? Where? Have you seen? No, that's not it. Let me find it real quick. Let me pause and find it. I gotta find this scene. Okay, I found it. So this is them fight. They had a big ship-to-ship battle, and then they boarded the ship. They shot the cannons over here. They took those out. There's the big ogrins. They fought them, and they put these in the prisons here. We got crabmen. We got ogres. Now, how do we have that in a Christian game, right? There's no aliens. I don't believe in aliens. I believe God created life on Earth. Earth is for us. The entire universe is for God in His glory. So I'm not concerned about aliens at all. And Matt, and they know too. And I'm a creation science crazy dude. So we know that's not even possible to have life on other planets. It's completely impossible. Anyway, so how do we have aliens? Well, I figured it out. Okay. The atheist one galactic government went out terraforming planets and genetically modified humans and animals to plant them onto planets. Mad scientists, some were done very carefully and scientifically and reasonably or logically, making crabmen that would fit the aqua world. And then some were done crazily, mad scientists doing crazy creatures. So we have Tyranids, we have Zergs, we have space bugs. We got bugs in space. Which they haven't encountered yet. We got the dreadbots, which is the like Terminators and Necrons, because some mad engineers created mad AI that started making mad robots that are now terrorizing the space. And why not? Because everything is Chat GPT, so everyone can just, there's no morals and there's no Christianity in space. So the atheists or the ones that went off, and travel between stars is very easy. It's time dilation, so that it's as soon as you get out of the gravity field, the time suddenly increases or speeds up or whatever, and so does your travel, like super fast. And for you, it's just normal, but it's like a week of just traveling between stars. And that is sort of me teaching to your family and your kids the creation science type stuff. And so you can go between star systems within a matter of a week or two, or whatever, however you want to do it yourself. And here they are, and they just free these slaves, and the slaves don't understand freedom. So they had to talk to them and as Christians and teach them about it and what is this freedom thing? And it's awesome. They had let me go back to here. Go back to the star. So there's the ship. There's the freed slaves. They brought him here, and well, we did theater of mind for this, but they went and had a funeral service for the couple of ogres they killed, and then they did an evangelism with these guys, and the crabmen, they converted them. They actually converted. I let them talk. I let them talk to the crabmen, and then the crabmen, or we call them decanoids. The decanoids, blah, 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 what's wrong with slaves? Blah, blah. And so I did a whole thing there, like, just giving them a hard time, and they had to like come out with why slavery is wrong and what. And they finally got around to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And the decanoids were like, well, we don't want to be slaves ourselves, so I guess that sounds reasonable. We could look into your belief, and they converted them. So now these guys are going to be part of sort of the church. Yeah, they're building the first church in the galaxy beyond Earth. And that's what they're doing. And she's a red cult witch that is now a Christian, and she's living a peaceful little life, building little crosses and on sundry crosses to sell. And these used to be red cults. So I just So anyway, this is the kind of stuff that's fun and let me show you some of the other. So the planet is based off of platforms, and this was the early mission, one of the first missions where they dealt with encountering the togas here, and they, and they're a little crazy. They're like Jawas, and then they, had this dangerous place with all these crazy crabs and stuff. They got dungeon down on the planet. They got a dungeon crawl. This is an old mine facility because it used to be an Empire planet, but the Empire terraforms and uses the planet. And then and then this story, the backstory is that they got attacked by the Dreadbots, and so the big war, and then they lost the planet, and they both sides basically retreated because of how devastating the war was. But all these mines were left, all these sort of abandoned mines on the planet. So now they can go down there and look for salvage and deal with creatures that have been left behind because of the terraforming and mad engineering, or mad geneticists doing crazy beasts. And on this planet, I could create more on planet Flotsam, because the church and all the things they're encountering is all these floating platforms above the planet, and the planet's huge. So I welcome anyone that wants to create as many little adventures on this planet, including abandoned Empire people like living underground, or degenerate cave people, or lost facilities. Also, the Dreadbots, the Terminators, could also have many sort of crashed, burrowed, mad chat GPTs, creating little societies underneath there that they got to deal with too. And they're just scratching the surface of this planet, but they want to explore outer space. So there's they don't know what else could be on this planet, but it could be anything, right? It's bigger than Earth. So this planet in and of itself could have so many different, adventures that you all can create. And I give you all these map pieces so you can continually rearrange them into different, layers that you can create different things. And, they could continually go up to the platforms, or back to the first church, and you're going to have your own storylines, by the way. So, and these are all, by the way, all the ships that they got. They got this from the pirate raiders over here. They got, this is one back from Earth, and all this backstory is in the game, in the booklet. This is their actual ship that they go on, and here's, they got some ore, so they're going to go to, well, let me just show you. I'm just trying to show you. They're going to go to this other planet, another star system, and here's a space station where they're doing trade. And they came on here. They got some of their stuff stolen by these little crowds of people walking by, because why not? They're over here right now. This is where they bought some fuel cells. Oh, they got their gun repaired. They're dealing with this decanoid. Now, this is not the same as the other one. I'm just reusing the same tokens, because of the decanoids. And they got security guards here. This is a space station, and there's like all these little agents trying to offer jobs. And even on these agents, I have different jobs in here. They might encounter. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to show you like the opportunities here for you all. And so here is the galaxy. This is Earth, solar system. And here's Bernard Star. This is where they're at, or the first planet they went to, planet Flotsam, which is, the orange planet. And then the Terminators and Dreadnought bots are out here. These double star systems, which have no planets, this is where the Dreadbots are kind of having, hiding their big stations or whatever. And they're kind of in like a dormant state, where they're just sort of, whatever. doing something. And then this is a cool Wolf 1061 is a cool, and it's a real star system. But I look at the planets, and I have Space Engine, which is on Steam, which shows you all the planets, and I take those images. I bought a commercial license so I could use it in this. And so they got there's these 3 planets here, or this one is obviously the station. It's on the gas giant. Raptorine is like Tatooine kind of, but it's got some cool stuff. I'll show you that here in a sec. And Solakwa is a water world, and so they got to go check out those places. So let me just show you a little bit about those. They did go to Raptorine, so I'm going to show their version of it because I have an original, and then and this planet is all about pipes running across the planet because it's like a desert world. But the terraforming factory has these pipes and it kind of distributes water. But of course, there's leaks everywhere, and creatures are growing, surviving around the pipes, and they had to go and fight these things and deal with that. So you can have total monsters and beasts that they got to deal with, just like in Star Wars. They got the little mini NPCs they took. They went to, when they first landed, they went to this town, where they could do some trade. There's a gladiator arenas, junkyards. There's an Outer Rim Tech Union, which is a corporation, and Outer Rim Trade Center. So they got full on adventure. They could rent some vehicles here to go do whatever. There's criminal elements in here, blah, blah, blah. So we have everything you need to do adventures in Christians in Space that it's just adventuring, but you're trying to plant churches. You're trying to convince these people to let you plant a church so that the church can then start preaching to the locals and creating what we Christians should be doing. Church. We should be evangelizing and planting churches. That's the whole history of the church. History of Christianity is doing that. And what we're called the white devils because evil does not want Christianity to spread, right? It wants to slander Christians who end slavery, who bring about freedom, who bring about a culture that works hard and creates fun stuff like Star Wars and Marvel and DC and all that. That all came from this Christian ethos that we had here in America. The first book ever printed to give access to people information was the Bible. And the whole reason they created the printing press was to make books affordable and the Bible affordable to the masses. So you could have access to the information. And the Bible was the biggest form of information in history, and still is, because the Bible is the most informative of evil. What is evil? What is good? What is evil? And how to create a society, and how to rebuke evil, and how to spread goodness, spread the church, spread Christianity, spread forgiveness, compassion, chivalry. That all comes from the Bible. The medieval times, the whole reason that we love in RPGs doing the medieval times and doing fantasy is because of the success of cathedrals and of churches and of church history in pagan Europe. We don't have a ton of RPGs on Africa or Southeast Asia or China. We got a couple, and they're interesting, and we of course add in there the ethos of Christianity to create the heroes in them. The problem though now is that pagans have taken on this Christian ethos, but they have removed Christ. They removed Jesus, and they're telling you to remove Christ. They're telling you to remove Christianity from your games, and I'm like done with that. In Star Wars and Marvel, and I still, just so you know, I still love Star Wars. I still love like the old concept of D&D. I don't like D&D anymore. I kind of don't even like the system anymore. But and I don't like who owns it and who runs it and what they talk about and how, they talk about diversity, but they do not want Jesus Christ. They talk about their tolerance and diversity, but you can't have Jesus Christ. No. I mean, they're not concerned about Islam because Islam doesn't care about role-playing games. Because Islam doesn't need that. Christianity is all about talking about faith and showing it. And so RPGs is all about talking, and we're engaged. Islam doesn't concern itself with that. Islam doesn't debate you concerning it's converting you. It doesn't need to debate you when it converts you. Christianity does. Christianity needs to talk to you and work it out. And I understand that in history, Christian missionaries would use, and even today we would go after, like, say, the most important leaders to try to convert them, and then they make all the people around them convert, in a sense. And I get that, but it's still about creating a society that doesn't, sacrifice children, butcher them. And at some point, the hammer has to be laid down. The hammer on the witches has to be laid down, because some people are just going to do evil. And the hope is that it's laid down in a legislative way so that they stop and know the punitive damages or the criminal damages if they continue along that path. And hopefully, and that's the goal of Christianity, is to create a society where evil is submits to good, is subdued. Evil is subdued. That's the goal of Christianity, is subdue evil, so that we can live in peace and not get sacrificed children and sexualize children and groom children and butcher children in surgeries, and give them drugs. Drugs is a big component of paganism, whether it's narcotics or therapy drugs or whatever, steroids. That's a big, Christians like, nah. I do like my wine, but I don't like being drunk at all. I hate it. Being drunk makes me further and further away from God, and I hate when I'm drunk. And I drink wine, but as soon as I know I'm getting drunk, I stop or start getting. But there's been a few times where I got drunk, and that sucks. I hate it. But anyway, I do enjoy my wine. So Star Wars. If you can, just pray on it, think about it. I just watched the Boba Fett. I really enjoyed it, so I get it. I'm still there as far as just watching it, but I'm not engaging it in the role-playing sense, because I want to engage with Christ. I want to engage with fellowship and edification. And so that's what Christians in Space is all about. And the other, for Lord RPGs, all of them. It's about us re-engaging evangelism and church planning in our games so that we are practicing for the real world, because I don't know how to do any of that, and I never have been taught that. Even though I've been a Christian for 15-ish years, I still don't really know the whole evangelism part of it. So, and we need to like practice it. I practice a lot of things. Why shouldn't I be practicing evangelism? I practice a lot of things. Why should I be practicing evangelism, which is so important to us? Okay, that's me rambling on and on about, what is this about? This is about Star Wars, Gino, Carano, and Christians in Space. All right. In the game of life, roll holy dice.